No screen time 60 minutes before a game makes you a better athlete. So simple, so easy. Why bring that up? Why do you think that's a game changer?
So I get that kids are on social media, right? And so when my kids were in high school, you know, the varsity always plays last. So they're sitting in the stands while the JV's playing. It usually goes girls games, boys games. So you see a lot of the athletes in the downtime before the game starts, right? And they were always on their phones. They were always on their phones. And yeah, they have warm-ups. They'll go into the locker room at some point and come out and do stuff like that. But they were like this, like, you know, they're sitting there, they're on their phones. They might be showing their friends something, but nobody's thinking about the game, right? They're involved in their own little world, right? And so teams, I believe, need to have chemistry to be successful. That's the bottom line. You can have good players and put together some teams that can get some wins and stuff like that. But when you have true team chemistry, that's a whole different level of how you play, right? That's how you win multiple championships. That's how you just, you know, some guys go on to college and stuff. And so there's a mental process that you go through before you go into competition. Right. Just be like before you do anything, the brain thinks a certain way. It does certain things. It releases certain chemicals. And so I'm a big believer of, and even a more hot take on this is I'd say no phones on the buses during travel time. Right. And everybody hates that. And the thing I get back the most is, well, I'm getting hyped for the game. What about music? I'm looking at plays. Oh, okay. Maybe music. Right. But that's not what I'm really talking about. And honestly, I don't think you should be plugged in because you are taking yourself away from the rest of the team. If you're listening to music and yeah, you're there and they're like, well, hey, you know, these professional athletes do it. They see them. That's a business. Those guys are not in high school trying to make it to the next level. And when they were, they probably were on their phones 24/7. Right. Once you get to a certain level of play, it ratchets up a notch. And so I wanted to make sure that students, if you really want to take it to the next level and the next level might just be more playing time. Maybe you're on the JV team and the next level is the varsity team, right? You have to be doing everything in your power to get there, everything to give you the edge, especially if you're not top talent. And so one of those things you can do is mentally prep before a game. Visualization is a huge thing. Think about the game strategy, right? Check the other team out, right? Is somebody limping? Just pay attention, be in the moment, right? And I get a lot of pushback from some athletes that don't like it, but I get so many more shares. And that's one of the reasons why my account blew up was the content that you create. If somebody shares it with somebody, that's a great thing. Like if you see a good movie and you want to tell your friend about it, that means it was a great movie and you think it has value, right? And so I'm always trying to provide that value in the posts. So it's really and I'm kind of going off topic here a little bit, but I'll bring it back. It's really about being in the moment before the game. 100%. Right. And like I said, if you want to make it to the next level, you have to do everything you can. And if you're like, well, what am I going to do? I don't get much playing time. You got to make the most of your playing time. And to make the most of your playing time, you got to be in the moment. Right. So it's all kind of full circle. It's really just be there with the team. In 20 years, you're not going to be talking about what you scrolled and saw that day. You're going to be talking about you guys were in the stands and you guys were watching the game and I don't know, Jimmy farted and it was like, those are the core memories that you'll have. And if you don't have those times with the guys or the ladies, if you're on a girls team, you got nothing. You got a lot of empty, you know. Here's the one thing. Athletes, when you get older, the wins will count a little bit. They'll count a little bit. But the time you spend with your teammates and the time you spend with the guys, that is the true essence of sports. And that's what brings you real happiness because you're not going to win all the time. You might play for 4 or 5 years and never win a championship, right? So are you going to be miserable at your sports career? No. You'll have that game where you scored the winning touchdown or whatever it is. And all those memories. And that's what it's really about. So it's really about teamwork and being one with the team. For the longest answer ever to a short answer, is just being with the team and being one with the group. Cause that's really, you guys are in the fight. It's all you.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I would have thought from reading that post, I would have thought that what you meant was that it helps you concentrate more on the game, which is definitely what you said. But your argument is more about team chemistry and remembering those moments, which is spot on. I mean, I played D1 soccer at Cal and I graduated in 2023. So I've been removed from the program for about a year and a half now. And talking to some of my friends that just graduated this past semester, they were saying that what they will miss the most isn't necessarily the games nor the travel. It'll be showing up at the field at 9 a.m. to have practice and it's all quiet and you just get to mess around with the guys for a bit and then back to serious work. And then you go back to the locker room and that's where you have a bit more fun and mess around. And those are the little things that you for sure forget. And my alumni group chat in which we chat every single day, it's all just memories from things we were doing, not soccer related. Like, sure, we could remember something from a practice or a game, but nobody talks about that. We talk about the moments in between. And I think that's spot on from what you're mentioning.